Sergeant. I have the higher ground. I'm gonna put game in you. Shut up, man. Your franchise is barely living. Giga drill break.
Can you shut up, you fool?
Chaos, I think you fail to realize the absolute unit of an army I have at my disposal.
And this is why we are practically poor.
I mean, I did slow down on collecting them because, you know, we had to pay for food. I mean, look at this shit. Look at this. I mean, we're practically starving here. Hey, Chief, look, Fate just kind of like waved his little wand, you know, and saying, "Hi, you are mine now, bitch. You're my fuckboy."
It's okay, you have us now.
Your sympathy towards him is revolting.
Chaos, will you kindly be quiet?
Yee, how are you?
Hey, nobody bosses Chaos except me. Chaos.
Hey, Chaos, you mind shutting the fuck up? Alright, Henso, shall we now begin on the series that started this whole wave of toys in plastic?
My boy, it's about time.
Developers for Skylanders Spyro's adventure, Toys for Bob, was given the opportunity to revive a fallen franchise, and they chose Spyro. At first, the game was going to be all dark and gritty. Like, could you imagine Spyro covered in the blood of his enemies? But then realized that wouldn't be a good idea, so they decided on the kids game instead. They came up with the idea of a Toys to Life game. Even had some big names like Alex Sokolow and Joe Cohen, writers for Toy Story. Soon enough, the game came out in 2011 and literally jump-started the Toys to Life train, with Disney, Lego, and even Nintendo joining in. Which, speaking of Nintendo, at first Toys for Bob wanted an exclusivity deal with them, but Nintendo turned it down.
Now when I review some Skylander games, by the middle or end of the series, keep in mind I'm going to be putting them all on a tier list. Pretend there's a tier list right here. This is where the tier list will go. Alright? And I'm going to be ranking every Skylander game by how good and how awful they are. And I should have one ready by the end of the series. So I got everything fresh in my brain holio, so yeah, by the end of the series, a nice, lovely tier list. Well, we'll name it the tier list of Skylander epicness. There we go. That's a good name, right? If I say epic, anything becomes funny, right?
Now, before I can start the actual review for the game, we need to address the big, scaly purple elephant in the room. The use of Spyro.
Now, before actually beating Skylanders, I actually took it upon myself to purchase the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Because my only interaction with the Purple Dragon was on some DS game when I was 6. And I'll be real with you, I was a dumb hole when I was playing it, cause I couldn't even get past the tutorial.
But he was only 6.
I also went ahead and asked the Spyro fanbase and the Skylanders fanbase on Reddit on what they thought on Spyro's inclusion in the Skylander games, and I'll be honest, I was quite surprised when I found out that both Reddit groups had very similar opinions.
Now, what I think of the design, it's that I don't hate it, but it looks like they took a compressor to his head. And when it comes to lore, I had no idea Spyro lore was so freaking deep. Like, I knew Cinder was part of the Legend of Spyro games, but I had no idea how important of a character she was. Most of them on Reddit said he was some part of a different timeline or a different multiverse. And I'll be honest, I might be able to agree, but I can also agree we might be looking into things a little too much. But here's what I propose, because at the end of the Legend of Spyro trilogy, doesn't Spyro reset the whole universe or something like that? And at the end, I mean, that's Skylands, like, no doubt about it. Look at that, Skylands right there. Woo! Look at the islands, woo, floating in the sky. Or, at minimum, the devs took inspiration from the ending. So maybe it's like everyone says, it's a spin-off. Also, let's not beat around the bush. Spyro was really just used as a Trojan horse to market the game and to reignite hope in the Spyro fans, just to rip it away from them when they realized, oh, Spyro isn't the main character. Well, that sucks.
This all seems pretty scummy.
Yeehaw, 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 yeah, yeah. Yeah, we can't really avoid the fact that Spyro was used as a Trojan horse for this game. But, you know, even if it seemed scummy and stuff, that's an understatement, it kind of was, but I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for that, I probably would have never known Spyro. And also, the game's honestly pretty fucking fun.
The story goes that one day, the Skylanders and Eon were chilling at the core light, a beacon of light that keeps the darkness away, and all of a sudden, the main villain, Chaos, starts to get his cheeks clapped, and then says, "Fuck it, giant dragon," and destroys the core of light. This kills Eon, and sends the Skylanders to our world. Now, I like the way they explained them being toys, because most Toys to Life games, it's just there as a gimmick, or for honestly no reason. Hugo, one of the side characters that guides you, survives the explosion. Now that the Skylanders are in our possession, it's up to us to rebuild the core of light, make some friends along the way, and to stop Chaos in his tracks to spread the darkness. Ooh, spooky! The characters can range from to funny skeleton and absolute Chad Flynn. And then the main villain, Chaos, is an absolute utter disappointment, a klutz, a dipshit.
No wonder why your dad never came back with the milk.
My dad is supreme evil sorcerer, so you better watch mouth before I... Chaos.
Shut the fuck up, Chaos! The Netflix series doesn't even count!
At least my dad isn't dead.
Oh. Hey, Henso, you mind continuing this? You know, I'm gonna go real quick.
Yeah, that's right. Run off. Run off like the weakling you are.
Ho ho ho, yee ho yee.
Wait, I thought he annoyed you guys.
Let's forget about the asshole for now. Get on with the game, like Salt said.
Right. Gameplay is pretty basic, but to be honest, it's still a very enjoyable game. From what I watched from Salt playing the game, it seems to a sort of dungeon crawler-esque game style mixed fighting and basic puzzles.
That's a no. Wait, what? Sorry for my retardedness, Also, I did the children's puzzle. How long did it take me? 10, 20 minutes? God, I'm so good at video games.
Most of the puzzles are honestly pretty repetitive and just kinda not that great. But the combat is fun. It's also basic. Not that there is anything wrong with that. You can level up Skylanders by taking down enemies, who drop EXP, and also collect gold to use as currency to buy upgrades for your Skylanders. Each Skylander has a soul gem, which is like their super move or super ability. They can be found hidden or behind elemental gates. Elemental gates are these areas where if you want to get in it, you have to unlock the specific element it requires. There are 8 elements in the game: magic, tech, water, life, fire, undead, earth, and air. Basically the Avatar The Last Airbender, but times 2.
Heyo, I'm back, guys. Woo, I'm back. Woo, cheers, applause. Woo. Alright, what did I miss? What do I need to be caught up on?
My boy, you good? Where did you go?
Well, you know, I just did the usual, you know, went out, you know, slay some thoughts, you know, some of that, you know, some of those moves, go, you know, a little bit of that.
Oh. Well, we just finished the gameplay portion.
Alright then, Chief, I'll just pick off what you left on. Fuck, I messed that up. God damn!
The starter pack for the games comes with a wireless portal of power, unless you buy the Xbox version. And to be honest, I prefer the wireless one over the wired ones. It just feels more like the toys are actually being placed on the magical portal, being sent to fight evil. But with a wire, it just kind of breaks the immersion for me. And yeah, I know the portal being wireless, you gotta worry about it dying. But for me, when I played, it never died throughout the whole playthrough. I'd say it probably has 8 to 10 hours of battery life. The starter pack also comes with 3 Skylanders: Spyro, Gilgrunt, and Trigger Happy. I think most of us knows who Spyro is, so just to sum it up, Purple Dragon. Then there's Gilgrunt, who is a fish who wields a harpoon gun while flying around on a water jetpack. Basically Flood from Mario Sunshine. Then there's my favorite of the 3, Trigger Happy. He's basically if you put a leprechaun on crack, and then gave him 2 pistols.
And sold separately are all of...
Yeah, as a kid, might have gone a little overboard. And basically whenever I went to a Walmart or a Target, I made sure to walk out with at least one of these bad boys. So now I have a complete collection. Except for Prison Break. He just kinda stopped working.
Explains a lot.
Now if you want to get the most out of this game, not only will you have to buy one Skylander of each element, which prices shouldn't be that high because you can find most of these by second hand or in the clearance bin, but you can also buy the level packs. These give you magic items which can make the game a lot easier, and you get the levels. And I'll be completely honest with you, these levels are not the best, but they still provide a decent experience. But, you know, hey, at least you get a Skylander with it.
Now my favorite Skylander is actually Drill Sergeant, because I actually got him before the game even came out. You know, my local Walmart was selling them before the figures themselves before the game actually came out. And so when I saw this, I had no idea what a Skylander was. You know, I just kind of bought it. You know, he looked really fucking cool. And also, later on, a couple years, I would watch Gurren Lagann, you know. He gives me some Gurren Lagann vibes. Look at it, he has drills. He has 2 of them, you know. You don't see 2 drills. 2 drills. He's a giga drill, but ain't cool. Look at that. And if you notice throughout my gameplay, I was using Stealth Elf a lot. And that's mostly because I was speedrunning the game, more or less. I don't know. I was going very fast. You know, gotta go fast. Gotta beat the game. I was exploring. I was taking my time and going through the nooks and crannies, but I was also speedrunning at the same time. Like a semi 100% speedrun. But, you know, also, you know, low-key, Stealth Elf kind of the cutie with a booty, you know what I mean? And then, also, Double Trouble. You know, Double Trouble, he do be having that double bubble, if you get what I'm saying. You know me, yeah, I mean, you know, one of the boys will know, yeah.
Salt their plastic toys.
My boy, I'm concerned.
The bosses for the game range from easy to let's throw as much bullshit as humanly possible. And by bosses, I mean Chaos and the One Rock Giant, and maybe something else, I'm forgetting the rest. Chaos fights are just fight evil Skylander. Chaos go grrr. Chaos do attack that's specific to the eternal source that you're trying to obtain. Repeat this step for the next 3 encounters with him. For the final boss, do everything from the last bosses but combined. I hear other people say that the final boss will utterly obliterate you, but I'll be honest, which I say that a lot now that I think about it, but still, I'll be honest, for like 90% of the fight, I just used Stealth Elf. The final boss was just a joke to me, and I feel like it would have been cool for them to reveal Chaos as this pipsqueak at the end, But if we did that, we'd miss out on the comedic bits of Chaos and Pussy Slayer Golem Shakes.
Silence. I will not be called Pipsqueak by the likes of you, for I, Chaos, will utterly obliterate you with my awesome power.
Yeehaw! Yeehaw! Yee! Thanks, Chief. Now, back to where we are.
The main game was fun and all, but what about the post-game? Well, there's the subpart DLC, which is the level packs I told y'all about. And there's the challenges that Callie provides. Each challenge was actually pretty fun. And at the end, they even increased the stats of the Skylander you were using. There's also a battle mode that lets you and a second player fight.
So in conclusion, Spyro's Adventure is a pretty good game. You have pretty solid gameplay, pretty good music, mediocre puzzles, repetitive bosses, and pretty good side content for when you're playing or done with the game. So overall, I think it's a pretty good game, and it's a great start for the series. So, thank you all for watching, and remember, hell is hot, so don't be a thought. I'll be seeing you next time on Skylanders Giants.